for the nerds. This is for the brainiacs. This what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back. You ain't gonna touch me. You not gonna do nothing. You are not above me. I bet you wish you was me. I know it. I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, it's me and my boy Tortuga.
We back, baby. We back.
How you feeling, buddy?
Feeling good. Rested, recovered. To steal a line from Landon, it was a speedy recovery for a tortoise.
That's right.
Yeah. I got the WSOP flu. You know, it's gonna happen. Just glad it wasn't COVID.
That's true.
So you know, we're feeling good.
Just had a 48-hour sniffle.
Thank God I have a nurse practitioner at home that was loading me up with some meds, and you know, we're good. Over-the-counter meds.
Basically a modern-day healer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I go to when I have my problems.
We're healed. We're ready to go. We're firing the 600 Deep Stack Championship today.
Let's go.
Ready to go.
Anybody play the online bracelet last night?
I played it twice.
No.
I forgot that WSOP has the IP address thing, and I tried to max it, and I tried to do that with a minute left, and then it said, "Sorry, someone from your house is it like someone from this IP address."
That's just sheerly brazen arrogance to begin with. A minute left. So many things can go wrong.
I don't understand. So in the past years, they've had turned this off during the series.
I don't think that's true.
Yes, it is. 100%. They turned it off during the series that you could be in the same place and register.
I would like to not say 100% anymore. Can we just take out absolutes from this
Shut the
podcast?
fuck up.
Can we please?
They were 100%
Okay.
over the past years it happened.
Just like he 100% knew who the runner was.
Yeah, of course. I just feel very confident this isn't like an on-off switch that they have in their offices.
All right, give me 1 second.
I thought that they got rid of that.
On-off switch.
Wait, I thought they got rid of that altogether.
The IP address.
So what they did.
So you're saying that you guys live in a house together, you can't all play the same tournament?
You have to do it through a cellular device.
Yeah, you just register on mobile.
Hotspot.
So what had happened was they turned it off during the COVID series, I believe, and for all the OC series, they had just kept turning it off and only allowed whatchamacallit.
Here's what I know. This exists because of Nevada Gaming and the likelihood that they got some ability to pause it is pretty low. So maybe you're right, Conrad, but
maybe
as a betting man, I'll take 10-1 that you're not, since you're 100%.
You and this dickhead over here. I'll take 10-1.
Well, you're saying 100%. You're saying 100%. I'm giving you 99. It seems reasonable. Actually, I'm giving you 90.
90, yeah.
I'll take 99-1 if you really want to.
I feel like every episode, let's just remember the responsibility of a public platform, right? Let's just remember speaking in absolutes is probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right.
And also, as betting men, if you're going to speak in absolutes,
bet on it.
Let's fire out some cash.
I mean,
I'm trying to run this tab up, baby.
I'm going to find the answer out in 30
You
seconds.
can clear the tab so fast, man.
I'm always right. You're always wrong. It's real easy.
Well, we can bet on
This
that
one's
too.
this one I'm definitely right about.
Was the runner a woman?
100%.
Nailed it.
Okay, we'll give you 2-1. Fuck you.
Nailed it. Oh, man.
Here we are.
Go Bengals, baby.
Let's go Bengals.
But no, he's got the Reds though, 100%.
They cooled off.
Whoa, hold on.
How does this happen every week? It's a fucking shift.
The thing is, he's
they
a big
cooled
favorite.
off.
The Pirates or the Cardinals are probably going to finish in last, so he's still doing
I'm a
just
huge
fine.
favorite here.
100%.
100%. Like, you guys have no chance of winning this. Even
The
though
Pirates are back, baby.
Well,
we won
once
9-4.
Once again, I'll take 10-1.
Wait, did you guys see that catch last night?
No.
This is actually.
Palacios? I mean, this is one of the best catches.
I mean,
in
if there
PNC
isn't
podcast history.
anything signifying the return of the tortoise, it's
Right.
a Pirates highlight.
Of course,
whenever they're
yes.
fucking
I mean,
8
look
games
at,
under
this is
500.
so ridiculous.
Holy shit, we actually have the
Juan
asset.
Soto?
We actually have the asset.
Yeah, Juan Soto thinks he's gonna. What? Wait, watch the replay. It's actually, you can really see. I think he overran it, which makes it a tougher catch.
He really contorts himself.
But Yeah, watch the replays.
I like these new
I kind of like. I was
That's
just
the
about
city.
to say
Yeah,
that.
that's the City Connect.
Highway
Uniforms
robbery.
are really cool.
He robbed.
You
the
can't jump
he
that high,
robbed-
Landon.
I don't need
Not
to
too
jump
many
that
people
high.
Can't
can.
even jump that high.
I don't need to jump that high.
What?
Yeah,
If he's
those
5'10" and I'm
city-
6'5",
He is not 5'10".
That wall isn't that high.
how tall is he? I don't know.
That wall's 6 foot.
That
More-
he
no,
just
that-
put
that-
his hand
that-
up
that
and
wall's
fucking
over 6
catch
foot.
it.
That wall's over 6 foot.
Okay, if the wall could be 8 feet, I could just put my hand
Hand up
over
and
it.
catch it.
I mean,
Is that
Yeah,
wall over 6
look,
foot?
man, it's-
on that side, I'm not sure
Yeah,
if it is or not.
It's not
look-
helping
look
my
at the
case
replay.
that I can't dunk a
I mean,
basketball.
I'm getting to watch the replay, I guess.
Yeah.
But like he's standing in front of the wall and it's taller than him. I
Okay.
assume he's at least 6 foot tall.
What's his name?
Josh Palacios.
Let's look up how tall he is with certainty.
Let me guess. It's going to be 6 foot 155.
Yeah.
Josh Palacios from Brooklyn, New York.
I gotta say, there's probably not that many
He's 6'1".
baseball
Okay.
players from
that are under 6 foot. Agreed.
shut up that are that are from the inner city of New York, like
No, probably
Brooklyn,
not, right?
Queens,
Yeah.
like Manhattan. Like there's just can't be that many.
Yeah.
But they grow up playing stickball. You would think they'd be very good.
Yeah, but there's nowhere for them to go.
Stickball's tough, man. Hitting a or hitting a bottle cap with a broomstick. That shit will get your hand eye down.
Not a
Like,
bottle cap.
The thing about like living down
It is
south.
in the Dominican.
Actually, that is true. Is Jose Altuve? I don't know if he's from Dominican or not. No, he's from
Puerto Rico,
yeah.
isn't he?
I don't want to say like Venezuela.
100%.
I want to say Venezuela.
You gonna bet
No,
on
I'm
it?
pretty sure.
But like how he would like practice, like he used to like he had like a broomstick and he would like they'd fire
Bottle caps. yeah.
caps at him and how hard that is to hit, like you said.
Yeah.
Aim small, miss
It's also
small.
a lot. It's also a lot easier to hit whenever you know what pitch is coming.
I was gonna make a joke. It's just like he knew which pitch was coming with the bottle cap.
He was RTAing.
Yeah. Nice
he,
one.
he literally had real time assistance.
Yeah, they all did. They
Yeah,
basically multi-counted because it's the whole team.
Yeah.
I saw a meme from the Ocean Gate Titanic submersible, and they said when they were hearing banging sounds, and someone said, and the meme just said it's probably just the Houston Astros.
Damn.
That's
Too
a little
soon.
too soon.
Too
God,
soon.
that is
Yeah.
soon, bro.
Left
Jesus
left
Christ.
field.
Boo this man. Boo this man.
Yes, man. You're a bad guy.
Boo this man.
Terrible.
You're a
Left
bad
field
tortoise.
is exactly 6 feet at PNC, as per
Interesting.
Yeah, so-
EFRO.
See, Berkey was right.
So I don't have to jump.
Tell him, Lamanna. So you don't have to what?
I don't have to jump to get that.
You personally, no.
Correct.
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, you would still have to have jumped. He pulled that out of the fucking third row, bro. Did you see that? He fucking went extendo arm.
I have long arms.
And we don't have the tweet, the asset, but Nick Gonzalez, rookie star player, hits
My cousin.
his first. It is your cousin, right? Yeah. His first home run in the majors, 442 feet off the batter's eye.
That's far.
Yeah, he got all of it.
For those of you who don't know
I don't know.
anything about distance or feet, that's far.
That's all you got for me?
That's very far.
Yeah, but
What-
Okay.
Well, the dimensions of a ballpark are generally like between 305 and 315 down the lines and 400 dead center. So 20% beyond
So clearing
the
it,
wall.
yeah.
the real star of last night was Shohei Ohtani. This guy is unbelievable.
He's so good.
He's he's the starting pitcher. He just goes out, strikes out 10 people, and then hits 2 home runs on the side.
Went 3 for 3 with 2 home runs, pitched 6 1/3, struck out 10. Just
I
no
don't
big
think
deal.
people appreciate what a unique
I mean,
Or it's
when
because he's on the Angels.
creature he
It
is.
is true.
To use your
It's-
term, creature.
Yeah,
He is a creature.
He is.
If he was on
he's
any
an
other
absolute
team.
specimen.
Yeah.
It's true. He's on the Angels. The game where they won 25-1 or whatever, Shohei Ohtani went 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts or 3 strikeouts, something like that, and Mike Trout was pulled by the second
he
inning.
had 1 hit, I think 1 for 7. But yeah, Mike Trout was like pulled 2. Like those guys weren't even in there.
The day before, they lost like 10-6, and between the two of them, I think they hit 5 home runs. So it's just like it gets swept under the rug because
Yeah.
they literally have the 2 best players in all of baseball and can't build a team around it.
No, they're doing good this year.
Are they?
Yeah.
Every time I look, they're getting mopped.
No, they're
or just winning 25
They
to
I think
win
they're
like-
like 8
they
or 9
win-
games above 500.
They win like Otani's game and then like just get mopped the rest of the
No,
series.
I
That
think-
was the other thing. They won that series versus the Rockies.
The
Sorry, they lost that series against the Rockies, but they outscored
Yeah.
them like 30-7 or something.
The problem is they're in the AL, which is obviously like really good, and they're in a good division. They got the Rangers and the Astros ahead of them.
Fucking
Right.
Rangers look good.
Rangers look really good, but the A's actually, they've moved into second place.
So they are
ahead of the Astros.
No, not the A's. The Angels.
The A's, not the A's. The A's,
The A's are the second worst team in baseball.
40 games under 500. No, they're 44 and 37. So 7 games above 500.
That's far better than. I swear, every time I see a highlight, they're losing by double digits.
Yeah.
I mean, that just kind of happens when continually best player does continually best player things.
Yeah,
right?
I'd be curious to see what their run differential is. I know in like the NL Central, I don't think
44.
I don't think there's anybody with a positive run differential.
In the Central?
NL Central,
I think
yeah.
it was
The Twins are plus 27. The Angels are plus 44.
plus 44. Wow.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm
That's really good.
surprised.
I think the Cubs were the only ones that had
Okay,
the
which
No.
they're in
positive.
third place.
No, it's the Twins in the Central.
That
Oh,
NL, bro.
Oh, sorry.
The NL
So
Central. Yeah.
in the NL Central,
100%.
the Cubs is in third
Bring 'em
place,
into the
and they're
combo.
plus 28.
What are the Pirates?
Down bad. Minus 39.
Yeah, down real bad. They were minus whenever they were in first place.
Yeah.
They were not in April.
Week 1, they outscored the Reds
No,
week 1.
April 30th. Dude.
All right, so this
April
is-
30th, they were such a good team.
This is wild. So the NL West, their run differentials: Diamondbacks plus 40, Giants plus 48, Dodgers plus 52, Padres plus 26, Rockies minus 128.
Wait,
the Rockies are
the
bad.
Padres are plus 26 and they're like 8 games under 500.
37
They're
and
in a
42.
tough fucking
Listen,
division,
man. Listen.
They also
They are.
That's the toughest
They are.
division in baseball for
When
You don't
sure.
but you don't even play people in your
when they
division
win, they
anymore.
put up 12 runs. They have fucking bats like no.
They also just lost to the Pirates. That's clear indicator that you're not going to come out of your division.
All this means to me is runs are kind of like ICM. At some point runs have less value.
No.
Well, yes.
No, that's the whole
When they're winning.
premise behind Moneyball is that you measure a person's talent by the
How
amount
many
of
runs
they generate.
or wins that they can generate.
Yeah.
So the more runs that you can just score, the more likely it is you win.
Yeah, I mean, you're right in the sense that winning is just winning. So
Yeah.
winning by 1 run or 10 doesn't really have much of a meaning to it. But over the aggregate, obviously,
Yeah.
the more runs you score,
So-
the better record you're going to
Right.
have.
Like you have WAR, which is wins above replacement, but then you have like
Wins above
weighted
replacement.
Yeah, then
What
you
does
have
that mean?
like weighted runs plus, which is like it determines how good of a batter you are. So like 100 is average. Kutch, his weighted runs plus is 131, which hasn't been that high since 2015. So we have 2015 Kutch on our team right now.
Relax.
We do.
He's hitting well.
His rated ones rated weighted
I
runs
just said
plus
he's hitting well.
Right, yeah.
Wait, this means-
is as good as I'm saying he's hitting as good as he was
Okay,
hitting in
sure.
2015.
Sure, but-
and better than he was when he was 24.
Okay, but relax. He's not stealing bases. He's not fucking trolling center field any longer. Like, he's not.
I'm just talking
27 years
strictly
old.
hitting.
Does
Strictly
that
hitting.
mean he's 1.3 times better than the average?
Yeah.
Like if he's 131?
Effectively, yeah. I mean, average is 100.
And average is just like decent player in MLB. Like how
Well-
do you consider average? Like what are these?
Well, it's not subjective. Average is like across the aggregate. This is the mean.
Yeah, this is like how you produce what you produce.
Like these are mid players and he's just
Right.
above mid.
Yeah, he's sligtly
Right.
above mid.
Yeah. What's the
No,
highest?
he's a
WAR?
lot above mid. 131 is
Like what's Trout?
pretty high. Trout.
Like if you were to
Advanced
guess.
sabermetrics with the
Yeah.
tortoise.
Yeah. I kind of like this segment. We talk about
Let's-
baseball
let's see.
stats with the
Yeah.
tortoise.
We'll figure it out.
Let me entrust my handy little Google over here.
I like entrusting in the machine.
All right. Well, Brian's out there trying to figure out what the best player in baseball is capable of compared to, in his mind, the second best player in baseball in Andrew McCutcheon. I want to give a
Nice.
huge shout out to our sponsor this month, WPT Global. They are currently doing a King of Cash free roll giveaway. So for anybody who is playing cash games on there, for every 100 hands you play, you'll receive a raffle ticket for over $25K in weekly cash and prizes. Every player who owns 2 tickets will get access to the King of Cash weekly free roll. There's never been a better time to grind cash on WPT Global. Use promo code Berkey when you sign up today. You can click the link in the description below or hit hashtag WPT Global in the chat. It'll also give you the link. Be sure to take advantage of their sign-up bonus up to $1,200, 100% bonus for you. So make sure you take advantage of that free money. We also have a Wynn satellite coming up.
This Friday, there's a 1,600.
You're in there.
I'm in there. 20 seats guaranteed. That's a $300K guaranteed for the satellite. It's
Not just seats, they're packages, right?
Packages, yes. So if you win, you get a $10,400 world championship
Which is the
seat.
$10 million guarantee, the one drop.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
or am I mistaken? Is this a package for December?
I want to say it's probably to the one that's
I wanna say it's-
upcoming.
I think it's for the 10 million. You think it's for December?
Wait, is the WPT part of the one drop?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe it might be. It's probably for this.
I think it's for this summer.
I mean, my read would be for the summer, right? You probably don't want to have a satellite for 6 months in
Right,
advance.
that's fair. I'll get clarity on it.
Well,
but I think it's for this summer.
Yeah, we need to get it today because it does say the World Championship and this is the one drop. So they're two different names.
Yeah. So the World Championship's probably the December one.
Yes.
That's what
Okay.
it was last year, right? It was
Yep.
WPT World Championship in December.
Okay.
So they're also giving away, along with the package comes a $3,500 in Wynn casino chips and an $1,100 Prime seat.
Which I assume those casino chips are Lammers or is it cash?
It's probably just chips.
Okay, yeah, I think so.
Cash,
too.
whatever.
Yeah. So basically, $3,500 in a cash bonus, the 10K package to what we think is going to be the World Championship in December, and then there was one other thing. Sorry.
No, the $1,100 Prime seat.
Right, the Prime seat, which is also in December. Okay, so that should actually confirm.
Yeah.
This is all for December. So if you guys are planning on being out here this December for the WPT Championship at the Wynn, that satellite is a milestone satellite. It'll be running Friday, June 30th.
5 p.m.
5 p.m. start time. Wynn, what is it, 10x starting stack, and you're out. Right?
Yep.
That's it.
10x starting second. You're out of there. I fucking love these
I haven't played
things.
one of these
amazing.
yet, but they seem so great.
Dude, I played one in PCA,
Yeah.
when I won the 10K seat. And it's just fun.
Yeah.
You're trying to win chips as opposed to sitting
Nice
there.
to just play Chip EV and get in, get out.
Kind of Chip EV, right? Because at some point, chips lost is still not as worth chips gained.
Oh my God.
Like if you're
It's
blind
close.
away, right? You probably
Yeah.
want to just open jam.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
99K and I thought I was not getting the seat. I had to get to 100. I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get there.
Hold on. We have an updated report from our sideline reporter. What is Mike Trout's
weighted runs created plus?
A TSA, a Twitter service announcement.
133.
Wow. Him and Kutch, basically the same player.
Same player.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Trout, Andrew McCutcheon, same player. Yeah. Put him in the hall. Let's fucking
I
go.
think Kutch is so high because he just walks at an incredible rate.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's
Like getting on base as a byproduct counts for your
his
WAR.
OBS is like 850, which is pretty good. His on base percentage is right under 400.
Which means like 4 out of every 10
Yeah,
times. 40%
40% of the time he comes up, he gets on base.
That's strong.
Yeah.
That is very strong.
Considering you're supposed to fail like at least like a third of the time.
I think he has like the third most walks. In
Yeah,
the
I was
whole
going to say
league.
you have to have a lot of walks for that because he's not hitting 3 something.
No, he's batting like 280,
Yeah,
275.
So he's getting
which is good.
like,
Yeah.
1.2 walks per 10?
Is he still leading off or is he hitting?
He moves.
know they
he
change
moves
a
from,
lot.
He moves from like first, second, and third.
You should get him on the podcast.
Yeah, he was batting. he was batting second a lot because Reynolds is hurt.
Yeah.
We'll work on getting Andrew McCutcheon on the podcast, everybody.
Mm-hmm. He'll come on.
Good lead off numbers though, for sure.
He'll come on.
Oh, come on. The final table of the Millionaire Maker is solidified. And I have to tell you, I wasn't even going to mention this because we can just talk about it after it wraps tomorrow. But one of my favorite characters who I've gotten to play with a few times over the years, Andreas?
Yes! I love him.
Andreas Rayo, I'm going to mispronounce it. Knip. I was going to go with Knip, but I feel
His
like...
last name is
Pink hat guy.
It's just Neep.
Yeah, I think it's Neep too.
It's-
I think the K is for sure silent.
It's
That
just
makes sense.
Neep.
Right.
Yeah.
But Knip is a nice nickname.
That is amazing. That's a great outfit.
This is the drip that he comes with every single day. I think it's like him and Sweet Lou that are competing for drip of the summer.
Dude, he's so much fun.
Does this rival the Canadian tuxedo, you think?
It's up there. I mean, it takes a lot of BDE to pull off Sweet Lou's Canadian tuxedo
What's a
with no
Canadian
shirt,
tuxedo?
a jean jacket and jeans, all denim. If you will, all denim, decked out head to toe.
You white people find some weird names for shit.
Well, it's Canadian.
Oh my God.
He rocked it though without the t-shirt underneath, which is especially strong. Honestly, the only thing that would have made it stronger is if it were a sleeveless Canadian tuxedo. That would have been, or was it?
I think it was.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure it was, man.
Wow, that is so fucking
It
strong.
definitely was
cooked.
sleeveless.
He cooked.
That's so strong, man. That's like Mr. T shit.
Nah, bro pulled,
Mr. T did
bro
it.
pulled
He's
it
the
off.
Gold chain,
Yeah. I pity the fool.
the mohawk.
That's strong. Happy for Andreas, though. We'll get a little bit more into his journey as well as the other 6 final table lists tomorrow.
All
once
from
this thing
different
wraps up.
countries.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyone from the United States?
One person from the United States. I think his name is.
Let's go, baby.
Paul.
Mo Ali. His last name is Mo Ali.
Paul Guanaguanis. He
That's
plays
not-
mixed games.
From the United States?
Yes.
No.
What?
Oh, man.
This is unbelievable. How does this happen
Yeah.
every day?
It's Miles Mo Ali is the only
the
American.
tortoise and
You're
the
telling
Conrad.
me that there's
Or
not a guy
it is.
named Paul at the final table of the Millie Maker?
I'm telling you
From
that
the
there's
United
only
States.
one American, and
So
I
you're
named
wrong.
him.
You're wrong.
I
yes.
said there's one American.
No, you're wrong.
His name is Paul Gunnis.
Yes, and he's American.
And did he bust?
No.
No.
He's
The
still
other-
in. He has 24 million in chips.
The other American is
Dusties.
Miles Mullally.
So there are 2.
There are 2.
There
Pavel
you go.
Plesov, chip leader.
Wow.
Florian
We
Chalk
have-
one up for Connie.
Always.
Well,
It's just a matter of we can, say it on the air.
You're
That
right.
happened.
You're right.
I know
I
I'm
was
right.
wrong.
Well,
Yeah.
to be fair, you
You're
were
good
You
looking.
were both right.
I am not attractive.
What? You take that back, sir. No negative self-talk.
To be fair, you were both right. There's just 2 Americans at the final
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
And we hate to see.
We hate to see everybody being right.
We hate to see the tortilla and the sidekick
That was
bit
so
die.
fucking good. That was so good. He's there. No. No. All we had to do is go to Poker News and go to chip
Man,
counts.
I know,
That
I
was
did.
it.
And then-
It's so
Yeah, but
easy.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, but then we would miss that riveting debate between Conrad and Tortilla.
There was no debate. I was right.
I mean, we could have just not gone to Poker News, let him keep fighting it out, and perhaps lose the intro bit.
Shout out to Paul
Never.
Gunnis. Sorry, Paul, for
Oh, come
for
on.
sliding you there.
Come on.
He wears a great bucket hat. You can't forget him.
It's true. He
Oh,
does.
it's bucket, bro.
Conrad does also know literally everybody who
He
plays
really
tournaments.
does. It's amazing.
He's the man of the people.
I mean, he's out in the streets.
When you play 1,500 to 2,000 live tournaments a year,
Or in a month.
like Conrad does, you get to know everybody.
Yeah,
It's like, oh yeah, I found a table with this guy. Oh yeah, I play with this guy all the time.
He's our Mincy. He's the guy in the streets.
man in the streets.
Yeah, he's out there, polling the people. He wants to get a little bit of feedback. Know what's going on in the streets.
Yeah.
Landon got a little shout out on the
Oh, I saw that.
on
Yeah.
the
Wow.
broadcast.
The S5
Any
S5
shout
suited.
Shout out's a little bit of a nice way of putting it.
Time out. If he would have pulled the trigger, it would have fucking worked.
Real? Yeah.
Yeah, it would have
It
worked.
would have worked.
It
He had
would've.
jacks.
Yeah, he had jacks,
It was
yeah.
ace 8 3-bet. The 4-bet would
Yeah.
have came in with the ace 5. Jacks would have hit the muck.
It wasn't even
true.
ace 5. It was ace 8. Yeah, it was
No,
ace 8.
no. Jacks open. Ace 8 3-bet by Nip. And then ace 5 found the muck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Even Landon wouldn't have ripped ace
It's,
5
it's
there.
funny that anytime
It would've
ace
worked. I
5
would've
suited,
I went to
brought
jam.
up-
Stop, bro.
yeah, anytime you see ace 5
He goes
suited,
2 big blinds, 4.4 big blinds, 7 big blinds. I got aces, bro. What are you gonna do with aces? You gonna jam?
No, but
All right then.
come on.
You come on.
Quit selling the lie.
You come on.
Liar.
Quit selling the lie.
didn't you
dude.
bust the main last year with ace 5 suited?
No.
Deuces.
No, I busted the main. No. I had ace king. It was actually really scam. I played a 5-bet pot where
that's
I
right.
jammed or either jammed or called
Yeah.
off. I called off 150 bigs with ace king. The guy had jacks, which was insanity, and he won the flip.
Try finding a call on day one.
Here's the
That
thing,
was
man.
good. Not wrong.
Here's the thing, man.
Not wrong.
People always have these whole, you'll find better spots. But like, if you never take a spot, you're never going to win.
So wait, you 4-bet and he 5-bet jam jacks?
Yeah.
I think your play is fine if he's gonna 5-bet jacks.
Dude, I would mostly fold pre, but this was not a guy you fold pre against.
Nah, he 5-bet rib jacks.
Yeah, he could have ace queen.
Yeah,
Suited.
well,
He would have
maybe.
won with the queen. There was a
That
queen
is
on the flop.
low
anyways,
for
I
everything.
would suggest to have queens there though.
Yeah.
In the future.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Was it ace
Just a
king suited?
suggestion.
It was ace king off.
Ugh.
Man.
This has been tournament advice with Brian Lamano.
Oh.
draw in hand, bro.
Yeah, this is how you get to day 2 of the main every year.
I love
good to be back, Brian.
triggering Landon by just
really
giving him like down bad takes on
Really,
like how to
really,
play hands.
really good to have
Just
you
like,
back.
Oh, that's just not a good hand. He's like, no, it's a really fucking good hand. I'm like, no, it's not.
Suited, I can see it. But like,
Yeah.
I like to disagree.
Yeah.
offsuit, I mean,
Like if the
come
king
on.
was an ace, then you're good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna lose day 1.
Yeah.
My main event runs so far have not been too great, you know.
You
But
only played one, right?
No. I think I played twice.
No,
Because I played
no.
twice, but one of them was the online main. One of them was the online main.
Right, so you just
That
made
doesn't
it.
count.
You made it act like as if you've just played a dozen main events.
No,
in your
I
life.
know. Well, I'm just thinking about it.
One
You've
live
you've
main
played
event.
3 main
one
events.
real main event.
I played.
Or 2. Did you play the fall one?
I played the
No,
fall.
he missed one. He went back to Florida.
That was the WPT.
Oh, yeah.
no,
you're
you
right.
played the October one.
I played the fall one.
Yeah.
played
so
last year.
the fall one and last year, so you played 2.
Yeah.
And then I played the online one.
That
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all know.
The first time I played the main, I bagged less than a big blind because I bluffed it off last end of the night.
With ace 5.
the
No,
online
Queen
one
Jack
doesn't
suited.
count. I know of at least one person who had 4 accounts in there.
Yeah.
Good.
A good segue.
That is a good segue, and I wasn't even trying to, which is unfortunate because I need to plug my goddamn course. So, Brian, maybe as you're preparing for the main event, you can go and check out the game plan so you can kind of understand how to frame your study in getting into the streets of whatever it is that you choose to get into.
Can't wait.
This is a course that I built based off of my preparation for Nick Airball. Big shout out to Kevin.
Rabbit chow.
Man, I almost said Rabinowitz. I'm like, those are 2 people smashed together. So yeah, do it with names too. K-Rab, big shout out to him for the help that he gave me. We included it in the course. I think we have a little bit of a preview for that right now.
Sorry, multitasking.
That's okay. It's not your fault. I was just trying to give Landon a chance to go to the bathroom.
You playing online?
I recently undertook a Heads Up No Limit Hold'em challenge
Hey, Berkey, aka owner of a poker training website.
in a discipline that I've actually never studied before.
This guy named Nick Airball
Is this the most disgusting sight you've ever seen in your life?
wants to play you high stakes heads up. Let's fucking go.
Very quickly, Kevin Rabichow and myself developed the broad strokes of a game plan. We played for 6 hours today, and my man Airball took 10 breaks. It was abundantly clear that Nick came in with no game plan. He didn't really understand theory very well. I made a lot of plays that I wasn't super confident in. I'm going to go back and review with the team.
It obviously simplifies your training significantly to not limp.
I don't want you to become a good heads-up player from watching this course. I want you to develop the mechanics necessary in order to construct strategies for the discipline that you most regularly play. If you guys want to check out the game plan or any of the other courses that we have available, I think, man, we have to have over 100 at this point. Head over to S4Y.io and be sure to sign up for for the all-in access pass. You will get a free 2-week trial, so you can watch this for free if you want to. Just remember to cancel before your 2 weeks is up.
Don't forget.
Don't forget. Actually,
No, I'm saying
go ahead.
don't, comma, forget.
Yeah.
You have to keep the lights on in this place.
Yeah, we do need to keep the lights on. All right, getting into the shits for today.
What we got?
We got a lot going on. So Doug put out his video, his take on the Ali confession
Breaking
slash. What are we calling this? Is this a confession? Was this a
This
plea
is my
for sympathy?
confession.
More, baby. Let's go.
What was Usher?
Bro,
Let's see you
singing.
over there. Let's get it. That brain feels kicking in, baby. Let's go.
It's actually not that bad.
It's good.
I like the product. I think the taste is a bit bitter.
Yeah, it is.
If I'm being honest,
I
get to be honest because they're not sponsoring us yet.
Yeah.
Whenever they do, I think it's the best fucking thing in the world.
I had the fruit punch, and I got to tell you, it was delicious.
I enjoy. Like, I feel like it gives me, like, I don't know, a little kick.
Well, yeah, it's 300 milligrams caffeine. We're on these fucking streets,
Oh,
baby.
that's why I'm so chatty today.
Yeah.
Yeah, today.
I think we found the recipe to a good podcast, and it's just one little.
Just load everybody up with some caffeine right
Yeah.
before.
So what are we calling this video by Ali? Is this
like the Ali, not Doug's video, Ali's thing.
Ali's? Is it a confession? Is it a plea for sympathy? Like, where do we think the angle
I
of
think
this was
this
going?
is an apology video.
Somebody said
No fucking way.
Somebody said a plea to be absolved.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty I think that's close. I think you're right. The
It's
vein
a loose
of,
apology.
Right.
That's not
right. I think it's one of those ones where you hear it as the person who, like, he didn't take any money from me, but like those that he took money from. I think you hear it and you just think to yourself, like, this is a non-apology.
It's like a PR, right? Like a public relations kind of.
I mean, if it is, it's a
he
pretty
needs
bad
a new
take.
PR agent.
Well,
That
yeah,
guy's
he does,
fired.
But like,
I mean, shout out to the Noble Three: Nikki P, Ike, and D. Peters. Everyone
The
else.
3 horsemen of keeping it clean, you know?
You got-
Wait, Palma?
Yeah. Palma was in the fucking 25K streets.
yeah, there he is.
Just ripping them off day after day.
Man, I think it was in the vein of an apology video in the sense of him saying, "Yes, I did these things. Yes, I did them again." And I'm doing it again. It's
It's
crazy.
just a meme.
But like he was trying to take accountability while also shirking accountability.
Right. It's
Other people don't have their house in order.
It's literally 90 seconds of him saying, like, I cheated, and then a bunch of stuff, and then I cheated again. But, like, maybe we should take a look under the hood of everybody's, past dealings and things of that nature.
There is some sort of truth in the regard of like other people may or may not, who knows, right, of what is and is not true publicly and like what's been said. But this stuff now coming out from like the horse's mouth, like how do you not use this as like it is a confession. It's like a confessional apology. It's like have you ever seen
weird.
Survivor?
Yeah.
You know in Survivor, like they have those edits and people talk about stuff?
Yeah.
This is that.
Yeah.
Did he literally like just film it and then just click upload? Did he not like have anybody like look at it? And be like, what do you think?
I've been here before. Like I've been in this situation before where like you think that you got it, you think you nailed it. Like you write a tweet that you think this is just a banger,
It's gonna hit.
or you film something that you're about to upload to IG stories or something like that. You're like, man, this is the fucking one, and then you put it out. And the immediate response is just like purely, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, oh no!
Look,
Needed a second set of eyes on this one.
Right.
As somebody-
Well, you would think that of like, I mean, if he's gonna put out this fucking confession, whatever you want to call it, like, you would think you would have a few people look at it, right?
Maybe
It's not a tweet or
I
an
don't know.
IG story.
As somebody
This is-
who's put out a bunch of tweets
and you're trying to save your name.
that have hit and have not hit, sometimes you really think something's going to be a banger and like in your vision, and then you get not only no traction, but the opposite of what you thought was going to happen.
But did you spend 2 years curating it?
I didn't spend 3 years doing this. No.
Right. So that's the thing. I mean, the accusations came out in 2021.
Yeah.
We're now here, 2023.
Got a long think about it.
That's a long thing. Or maybe it was 2022 that Fox dropped the ball. Yeah, because
I
it
think
was,
it was
early.
It was last year. So basically, like somewhere around 15 months of silence. I mean, that's a long time to curate an apology, plea for readmittance type of message.
Yeah, there's no real winning for him here.
No, bro missed.
But like, not even from the video, but just in general. Like we were thinking about, like, how do you even try to combat that?
Well, I think the thing is that you have to just lean into the fact that you've been ostracized from the community and not come at it from a selfish angle of I need to find a way to get back in so I can make revenue again.
Right.
Right? Because that to me is what this read as.
I want to play tournaments, make money again.
Right. If you just accept that your career is over, then you could come public with a true, sincere apology and say, like,
So he
look,
should have did what Bonomo did.
well, I don't really remember 2008 or 7 when Bonomo got caught.
What did he say?
Well, Bonomo actually self-reported himself, didn't he? He apparently wrote in a blog about him multi-accounting.
Okay.
And that's how this all blew up.
Okay. I was scouring the internet before the show to try to find a lot of details. Most of it was in a Bluff magazine article that got deleted when the site went down, or whenever the magazine collapsed or whatever. But the few details that I do recall from the Bonomo thing was basically he took advantage, at least the way that I understand it, of Party Poker used to have multiple skins, Empire Poker being one of them, and the tournaments would collectively be the same pool. You could, similar to how ACR is now on Black Chip, you could theoretically enter the tournament through the different skins. So you could have your one account on Party, your one account on Empire, and be running them in the same event.
For what it's worth, you can't do that on ACR.
Okay, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
You're saying back in the day, this is what you could do.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just implying that they can't do that on ACR today.
Yeah.
Right.
It won't let you open up two different clients in the same name.
You're saying on the
ACR.
like period or just on the same machine?
On the same machine.
Yeah. Is it period?
It might be period.
It might be period.
It should be period.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's possible to go on like True Poker and Black Chip Poker from the same IP address and play ACR. Like you can effectively still multi-account for sure.
Okay, I don't know that that's true. I think it's worth testing because the thing is that you're signing up under the same name. Like it's Matt Berkey on all of the accounts. So there should be some sort of check and balance.
In what sense? What if your emails are different for True and Black Chip?
It's not just about
emails. It's all linked. It's by your social security number or something like that.
I don't think you give your social.
You might not.
You definitely don't give your social.
You don't give your social security number to ACR.
I mean, Bovada takes it.
Yeah, and they do.
You have to send them a swab of your DNA.
And you're being a dick, but you realize that the other black site does it too, right?
Yeah, for account ID verification.
Well, regardless, I do think it's worth stress testing.
I'm doing it right now.
He's doing it.
He's on the case.
This is what we got him here for, man. He's here to stress test. But anyway, from what I understand, he was taking advantage of that. How it came to be that he got caught, I'm not sure. You know, Conrad saying basically it came out on a blog, and he effectively self-reported. So
yeah, he said he didn't think it was that, or what he was doing was like.
Why does nobody ever think what they do is that bad?
Well, and if he knew that it was that bad, he would have never self-reported on himself.
Obviously.
That's what he said.
Here's the thing. So him and JJ Prodigy were the two major names that came down around that time frame with multi-accounting accusations
that kid was like 13, right?
They were both young. Justin was like 17.
And JJ Prodigy is like this random black like specimen in the ether of poker where like he just showed up, won a bunch of money and then left.
No, JJ Prodigy
he still plays?
No, not anymore, but he played live for years. Once he became of age.
He started as like a teenager.
Yeah. Most guys, Sean Winters said he started playing when he was 12.
And then like won a bunch online.
He was a prodigy.
The JJ Prodigy, got it.
Yeah, I mean, he played maybe as recently as like 2014, 2013, maybe even more recent than that. I don't recall.
That's kind of just like an online legend.
Yeah.
I remember I found out about Bonomo from watching a WSOP on ESPN. Lon and Norm. Yeah, somebody had mentioned something, and that's how I found out.
Yeah, I saw that whenever I was when I was searching through everything. That was one of the things that came up. It was like a long 2+2 thread of like whether or not Justin could like sue them for libel or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like this is a part of pre-Black Friday history in the game.
Right. That's what I was going
it was certainly something that happened. I'm a little bit unclear of the details because I couldn't find anything in research, and back then I was a fucking micro stakes player, so like that type of news didn't hit me as hard as it would now.
Yeah, it doesn't really hit the same.
But AMAC tweeted and made a really good point that I think is worth acknowledging, in that the landscape was very different back then. There was almost no high stakes MTTs, if any at all.
There's like 215s, right?
Yeah, maybe at most. I think just like on Sundays. And also
there was a 1K on Tuesdays, remember?
No, that was way later. That was full tilt.
Oh yeah.
This is party poker days. This is like 05.
Oh yeah, that was like 2000
like pre UGIA.
Yeah, but didn't they have the $1,000 full tilt in like 2006, 7?
It was after UGEIA. So yeah, maybe 2007, something like that. I mean, yeah, it's not long before, but like a couple years during that time frame was a lot of time.
Yeah, right.
Like you couldn't get $1 million in buy-ins in a year, probably.
No, no, $1 million? No way.
No.
Well, depending on how many accounts you have, I guess.
Well, there was no re-entry. There was only two. I mean, there were a lot of sites, but Stars and Party were the only two major sites.
Like the only ones attraction.
Tournaments weren't even that big yet.
Just cash.
Well, cash wasn't even that big. I mean, online poker was like so new. I can still remember when Party Poker's biggest game was 2-4 no limit. And it was mostly limit games.
Wow, this is really taking you back, huh?
If you put in a few $1,000s of buy-ins on a Sunday, it was like a big Sunday.
That was even like
few thousand,
that was
being like 2,000.
But he's referring to like post UGEIA whenever full, because we weren't grinding Sundays before that.
What do you mean?
Like we weren't grinding Sundays when it was just Stars and Party in like 2003, 2004, 2005.
No.
This is
yeah, you're right.
pre-Moneymaker winning
grinding
game.
probably 2006,
Yeah, we would take
7,
shots at the Empire 500 rebuy
Wait.
once a month.
JJ Prodigy is Josh Fields.
Is it?
If he is, he has 4 cashes at he's cashed 4 times at this year's WSOP.
For some reason, I don't think that's his real name. Oh no, you're right. It is Josh Fields. Yeah, I think I was mistaking him with somebody else.
Oh, so he's.
But in any event, yeah, he is still playing.
So he's back.
Well, he never left.
He never left. That is the first thing that comes up is JJ Prodigy banned again for multi-accounting. 2007.
Yeah, he was very notorious for it. He was like the most aggressive of the guys back then doing that. But we're so far off track. We're so far off track here.
Of course.
The whole reason that I think this is even being brought up is that I thought AMAC's point was very valid in the sense that high stakes MTT community didn't really exist back then, and the small collection of people who were putting in pretty high volume to the degree that they could thought that this was okay. Not morally okay, or maybe ethically okay, but just like
this happens.
Kind of like similar to the Ali approach of like everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So like none of us in the community could police it because none of us were aware of it and none of us were doing it and none of us were a part of it.
So
because we were just taking a shot here and there at one tournament.
You'd say the difference is literally scale.
Scale is a massive
not that it's a bad
here.
Yeah, not that it's a bad thing, but it's just scale.
Yeah.
This is just small versions of this.
Yeah, everything that I was reading about Bonomo, it's like the articles would say like, you know, he was able to gain an unfair edge for tens of thousands of dollars, where it's like with Ali, we're talking 7, maybe 8 figures. You know, we don't know to the degree of the accuracy, but 2 days ago, Tim Kramer, longtime reg, tweeted out, I got an anonymous text with Ali's GG accounts today from a reliable source. Now, since then, this list has been kind of combed through, and it sounds as though about a third of it is not actually Ali's accounts. But I think there's 14 names on this list. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 names on this list. And I think 5 are confirmed to not be Ali. But that means 11 are still potentially Ali.
Unconfirmed 24 hours later.
Say that again?
I said it's
sure, some people might not have Twitter or whatever, right?
I'm just saying, but 14 of those names are unconfirmed or whatever. 11 of those names are unconfirmed.
Almost 2 days later.
Yeah.
Almost 2 days later. So like it's nearing the 40-hour mark.
I mean, even if they don't have Twitter, everybody else does.
Oh, and then there's a follow-up list of another 10 names. So 26 total accounts, of which roughly 5-ish.
And he never said how many accounts he was using when he was multi-accounting.
No. And then we have a graph. And granted, this is based off the idea that this entire list is his name, which it's not. Some of them were really elite players like Elio Fox.
Trash Dog.
Who else was?
Nikki P was one of them.
Petrangelo was one of them. Right. So, you know, take the graph for what it's worth, like with a grain of salt, but like it's well into the millions, right? I mean, I can't exactly see it from here, but
I mean,
1.5.
It's never going to be like completely perfect, right? But if you see
obviously it's off because it just starts to straight line at some point, so there's some missing data.
Or missing data, or like tournaments just stop running, right?
That too, right? So the 25K streak.
But when you saw it, like the total ROI of the entire group is 2.8%, and you still profited 450K.
Yeah,
and some of them aren't even his.
That's the big thing that is so critical about why what he did is so egregious to the community, is because the buy-in level is so high that you don't need to be winning a ton of ROI, right? And we also know that like not all those accounts are his. So if we filter out
some of the losses
potentially, right? The ROI very likely climbs. We've already mentioned this. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but like obviously the most egregious thing about this multi-accounting is the fact that it's small fields, and he very likely has the same accounts at the same tables.
Probably like maybe like 3 or 4 at the same table.
I think we're overlooking something here.
Go on.
These names are really well made. Like Golden Snitch, Call the Police.
Yeah.
The Answer.
Right.
The Professional. Come on, man. Like this is fucking A+ material here.
Multi-account.
Multi-account was strong.
Pretty Puff. Come on, dude.
So
like,
strong.
Robin Hood gang. Like this is just amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, you know, again, we're speculating which of these are even his to begin with, but there are 2 things that
Bill Gates.
we didn't mention on the last pod, or one thing that we didn't mention and one thing that we did. The thing that we did mention is the amount of card sharing that would be taking place here would be absolutely ridiculous, especially once you got like close to the bubble. Yeah.
Yeah. Or how about like just dumping chips to your shorter stack, right?
That's
so
the
like,
other thing.
Because now if you're chip leading and those a little bit of chips that you take off your stack are not worth a lot, but when you put them in your short stack other account, they're worth tons.
There's ways to make it not look bad either.
Or how about when somebody opens and then you go 3-bet, 4-bet? Like,
well, yeah, that's the point. Is you can just RFI, find a jam from a short stack and auto fold, right? Just give yourself more of a potential.
There's a lot of ways that you can manipulate the ICM.
Much.
Let's say you have 5 tables. Let's say you have 5 accounts at an FT.
Oh, it's insane.
You're just going to win. You're just going to always win.
The other people are just drawing stone dead to variance. Right, like they're never going to finish anywhere close to their ICM expectation.
You have 2 ace blocks are gone. It goes open 3-bet. You click.
Think how easy it is the red line. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So like the way that he would be able to up his ROI through multiple accounts like this is just endless.
It gets higher every account you add.
Correct. And I think that's counterintuitive because people, might look at this and say like, oh, well, there were only 24 entrants and maybe he had 14 of them. He's contributing to the majority of the prize pool. It's like, yeah, but he's winning like the whole prize pool. Yeah. And he has to re-enter like far less due to the edges that he's able to garner.
Right.
So like a lot of the like if it's a 24-person event and there's 40 re-entries, maybe he might contribute to like 40% of the prize pool from the initial entry, but maybe only like 10% of the re-entry prize pool, right? Which now means that he's just reaping the rewards of all of this additional money where these guys aren't going to be able to claw any real EV back. Yeah. The other thing that we failed to mention is he very quickly like kind of scoffed at the notion that he had an RTA in the traditional sense, the way we think about it with the Fedor Cruz type of setup of a cold machine that's scraping data off the screen and allowing you to like have perfect results. I was
saying it's a different game at ICM 50, ICM 25.
Right. That is completely moving the goalposts, though, because 2 things are likely to be true. Number 1, he admitted to using Munker charts, and we understand that there are currently pre-flop ranges for different stages of ICM, and you can get them very quickly on GTO Wizard. If that's true now, 18 months ago, for sure, this was private. Like, for sure, people had the technology to have this privately. Things don't just change overnight and suddenly enter into the public realm.
Yeah.
Right? Number 2, he completely skirted the fact that he was playing 501k, 100k minimum buy-in against like Bill Perkins and a bunch of others on GG for a long period of time over the course of COVID.
It was heads up?
No, it was full ring.
It was 6 max.
Or 6 max.
Could he have had multiple accounts in that ring?
Maybe.
As well?
Yeah, probably, but...
is it possible to potentially? Did he probably not?
Probably
just
not.
Because there's other people in the game too. Difficult to sit. Also,
but him and Jake were staples in that game.
Yeah.
And running chip EV RTA there is going to be worth infinite.
I remember Kaki T used to like rail these games on his Twitch stream.
Yeah.
And he would just like watch it.
Yeah.
Like it's all open.
Yeah. So him like dismissing the notion that having chip EV RTA would never have been beneficial to him is insane.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what his accounts won in that game because I don't know if there's a tracking site for cash games on GG.
There's stat name, but it's never perfect.
Right. And then B, we don't know if he was ever in there as like one of the whales, right? Just some random account that's supposed to be the fish where it's actually like, him on his anonymous.
He did get a quilt of him winning that hand where he won like 1.x million.
I forgot about that.
He does have a quilt.
That was the biggest pot at that time in GG history, right?
Shout out to the quilt.
Right. I forgot all about that. Yeah. Yeah. So he clearly was like very likely to have been profitable in that massive nosebleed cash game as well.
And I think that like genuinely saying that I got confiscated 320K, that counts as my penalty is kind of a spit in the face.
Well, again, so we tangented way off of this because we ended up getting into Bonomo for a second, but the original question posed was what could he have done to make this PR better, to be a better spin?
Yeah.
And the answer is lean into the fact that you're ostracized from the community. You have no path to redemption as far as making money in this community goes. So just come fully clean. Like, just come fully clean, in my opinion. I think that if you come forward with the methodology that you used, the amount of money that you won, the way, like, obviously you have to do it in a way that's very genuine and honest and not looking to gain anything in return. Otherwise, it just comes off as arrogance. But I think that like coming fully clean and trying to help clean up the cheating that's taking place would be the only path to redemption, in my opinion.
The problem is that I think if he did that, it would be so bad and so egregious that there would be no path.
I kind of agree with you.
Right? Because it would be like, holy shit.
Well, you do it coupled with, so he ended the video by saying like a lot of the high stakes names that are calling me a cheater are also cheaters.
He house and ordered them.
Yeah. So you couple your entire whatever with, and these guys are currently doing the same thing through similar methodologies.
It's not a good look.
So you try to be the cheater that the casino hires to prevent further cheating, right? That's your path forward, your path to redemption, in my opinion. Doug kind of ended his video with a similar sort of extension to Ali, which I hope he takes him up on it. He offered to have him on the show. I think it would be great to see those two sit down and do an interview. He offered him a 100K free roll. So this is actually pretty funny because
they're playing him at the lodge.
This is actually pretty funny because it seems so small and insignificant, but it actually is like a pretty major talking point in that Doug found the games that Ali played against Brewer in chess, and he had like a 95.6 efficiency rating or something like that. Percent accuracy, which is 3 percentage points higher than the current world champion.
He's the GOAT everywhere, baby.
Yeah.
So Doug offered him a 100K free roll to play 10 over the board games and score higher than 92% accuracy, which is so fucking good.
I just thought it was just play $100,000 to play 10 games of chess.
No.
Just play me, man.
It's so good because
where does the night go?
Right. It's so good because it just demonstrates like this pathological desire to just cheat, right?
It's so good.
And that really is the timeline where it's like he did this egregious thing, got caught, got ostracized from the community in the process, and then on the back end of it showed no remorse and did this egregious thing again, just on a different site.
Yeah.
And it seems as though it's a rinse and repeat process where he probably got caught again, doesn't really have an easy path to make money any longer. So now it's like, okay, well, let me see if I can garner some sympathy, because there are examples in the past, a la Justin Bonomo, where people who have been accused and found to be skirting the rules or breaking TOS, whatever, have now been, welcomed back into the community. Justin's made 60 million lives since then.
Yeah.
That's a nice path to redemption.
Yeah, he's trying to get it back into the good graces, but I don't think you do that by showing your dog's birthday party.
No, it's not quite as hard.
Happy birthday to Barbie. Really going through some stress right now.
Real tough times for Barbie out there. We feel for you, kid.
F in the chat.
I think that the second conversation that came off of this, and I think it's a decent debate for us to have, maybe on the surface. We don't really need to dig through the details. Phil Galfond put out a very, very long post about why he thinks it's reasonable that Justin has kind of been forgiven and given a path to redemption, and basically highlighting that he is an upstanding member of the community now, and kind of comparing, basically saying like Justin and Ali are not apples to apples. A lot's changed in 18 years, and that we can't go all the way back to then and try to hold 17-year-old Justin accountable for what current day Ali is doing. And I thought that was a pretty reasonable take. And I understand the nuance that Phil's trying to add to the discussion, but I think, first of all, it's a lot of words, so not everyone's going to read it. And I think that's in and of itself problematic, because
wrong platform.
Right. If the message is powerful and everybody doesn't get through it, it just comes off as a surface as you're a Justin defender.
Maybe better as a YouTube video or something.
Yeah, probably. And then the second thing is that those who do just skim it, the takeaway is just going to be, this guy gets a pass because of
back then
these reasons that I'm going to give, which are debatable, and underlying, I like him. Whereas this guy gets no pass because it's current, it's for a lot more money, and no one likes
You're
it.
sort of using the "that was then, this is now" type of mentality.
And to be fair, I think that logic is somewhat reasonable because the landscape was very new. It was very wild, wild west. There was a lot of shady shit going on. Justin wasn't one of one. There are a lot of examples, JJ Prodigy being another one. To a much, much lesser degree, we know Jonathan Little got fired as a full tilt red pro because he was running a 24/7 stable of other people playing under his name.
Really?
Yeah, so they got 100% rake back. And, he's smart. The easiest way to scale things is to just always be in action.
Yeah, all you gotta do is multi-account.
But he can't. No, it wasn't multi.
No, he just had other people on his account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can't play 24/7. So instead, he would put in his shift and then have
Clock
somebody
in,
else.
clock out.
Yeah, have somebody else come in and put in a shift, and then have somebody else come in and put in a shift.
Didn't think security was going to be like, yo, you're playing 24 hours a day,
He
7 days a week.
He played something like 1,700 sit and goes in 7 days.
It sounds like my normal schedule.
I mean, it sounds like kind of sounds like. Well, that's why they can't investigate it, right? Like if you can play 1,700 tournaments live,
Right.
online,
That's hilarious.
So yeah, there were a lot of ways back then. Things were very different in the sense that we were all incredibly young. There was no established established norm in this community. It was a free for all where it was brand new with no regulations whatsoever, and everybody was trying to capture money.
Yeah, it's kind of like phishing scams when the internet started.
Yeah, to some degree, but there's a difference between knowing that you are creating something that is just sheerly a scam versus exploiting holes in the current system.
Especially when you look at most people playing from a cooperative standpoint of I'm only going to use one account and play poker that I think is good versus I'm going to have multiple accounts and then...
Well, to be fair, and I think this speaks a little bit to Galfond's point, almost everybody had, and I'm being a little loose with the term almost everybody, but a lot of people had 6 family members signed up to Party Poker. And it wasn't because they wanted to multi-account. It was because
the bonuses and
there was bonus whoring. That was a big, that was the logical reason to do it. You could do a lot of bonus whoring and reap the benefits of a ton of money that way. There were a lot of kids breaking TOCs with, or terms of service with terms and conditions. I don't know why people were so critical of that, but
It's
I always
TOS,
get yelled
yeah.
at for TOCs.
That's the Tournament of Champions, buddy.
It's also terms of conditions. But anyway, people breaking that because they're underage. So like Brian Pacholi, for example, like used his dad's account, right? Like this isn't outing anybody. Like that was just the landscape back then. Other people would have just like 6 or 7 accounts because one ran bad.
Yeah.
Or their main account got flagged, for deposit issues or whatever. Like
he was wanting to find ways to play and not cheat.
There were ways to like roll Party Poker out of like $50 or $100, something like that, where you deposit from your bank, but you don't actually have the money in there because their payment processing back then wasn't as tight as it is now.
Or you like refer a friend and then you can make an account so you can play.
Yeah, just infinite reasons like why people had half a dozen accounts or whatever. So a lot of this was so much more normalized back then because there were no industry standards and nobody was taking the time to think about who it's hurting.
There's
right?
no real industry.
There was no industry.
There's no industry. It's
right.
Online poker, here you go.
Yeah. So the idea of figuring out the ways that you could exploit the current system in place wasn't that crazy, right? And the reason why Bonomo is under such heat and scrutiny is because he was directly taking from his peers, which may not have been that obvious back then, right? I don't think it's that crazy to think that a 17-year-old kid who started playing a game and winning money at it doesn't consider the fact that the money he's winning is coming from somebody else.
He just cares about winning money.
Yeah. You kind of have a sole pursuit, and that's not a pass for Justin in any regard. It's just kind of saying that like now it's much more like the pyramid scheme. Like now when you choose to cheat, it's very much with the knowledge of who's losing when you do it, what the upside is, what the risk is, what the downside is, and everything in between, right? It's a very educated decision.
Yeah, players know where their EV is coming from now. So when people multi or play high stakes stuff, they realize their EV is being gained by having extra information and having other tools at their disposal.
That's the other thing. The cheating is so much more sophisticated now.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
smart.
Yeah. I mean, back then it was like we were still watching rounders, and the notion of like signaling and capping cards like the way Worm did and also it was kind of normalized in that movie too, right? That's the culture we were all entering this game from, where it's like they go to the frat house game or whatever, and
some people think that Worm's his tactics are immoral, but they say it's immoral to let a sucker keep his money.
Right.
Like that's how they portrayed it.
And that's the hero. That's Mike McDermott, the hero, the beacon of morality and ethics whenever it comes to this movie. Like he's the one on the straight and narrow.
I mean, normie perception of poker is still a degenerate gambler for most part. You know, it's slowly shifting, right?
But
like
within the community, obviously, that's changed.
Correct. But like that perception is still there. You know, like you tell someone you're a professional poker player, they think, oh, like I don't know, you can make a living doing all that gambling and stuff. You know,
I think with Bonomo's situation, it was like, okay, he knew he could gain a little bit of an edge by doing this, or he had some sort of edge.
Probably.
Probably, yeah. Like, whereas with Ali, it's a full blown scam. Like he's running a scam.
Yeah.
He's running a cheating
at massive
scam
scale.
At massive scale. They're two. In my eyes, they're two completely.
It's not like there's no ignorance to what's going on. If I didn't know I was winning this much money.
Agreed.
I didn't really like Doug's response to Galfond's.
Okay, so this is worth bringing up because I think I think maybe we'll be a little bit divided on this. Doug's response was Justin cheated people out of money. Ali cheated people out of money. Justin just wasn't for as much money, and it was less egregious. It is still cheating, and people still lost money because of it. Stop defending cheating because you like the person.
I mean, we know he cheated, but he was also 17 years old and like in the wild, wild west of online poker. This is two completely different things, I think.
Okay, so I have no opinion at this very second. I think this is worth debating.
Okay.
The way that I view this is that Doug's take is a very letter of the law, black and white take.
Okay,
and
yes. Cheating is cheating.
Yeah, and it's what you would see in the court of law, and the only difference would be the degree of the sentencing. Yeah, the punishment, right?
Like shoplifting versus grand larceny.
Correct. Yeah, so the scale is just what dictates the punishment.
Yes, and that is correct.
Agreed.
And now when we start to scale that, like to the sliding scale, you realize that Bonomo was 17 when he did this.
And he was punished appropriately.
And in Wild
banned from all the majors.
Exactly.
And, spent a period of time kind of in poker purgatory, right?
Yeah.
It's like
comparing
to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, like a teenager still in a candy bar out of a convenience store versus Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
they both stole.
I think
right?
that's a pretty fair analogy, and
Yeah.
I think it's a way better one than Phil used with the sexist grandpa from the 60s. I love Phil, but sometimes
Look.
swing and miss,
sometimes
bro.
you miss.
Yeah.
You miss.
It's okay, but right. So that's one end of the spectrum, right?
Candy's
The letter of the
bird.
law, the black and white. Let's just let the courts decide what the punishment is. And right now, Ali is going through a much more severe punishment. He's banned from all poker outside of the WSOP
for a severe crime.
Correct. The other side is a very, and this is kind of Phil's side, is a very gray take. It's a very nuanced take of applying some level of empathy and I guess let's just say some level of thought to comparing the two and understanding that they aren't necessarily one-to-one.
Yeah. Like we can understand why Ali did what he did in those games if he wanted to play. At the same time, it doesn't make it right.
Right.
Like he said, I started multiing. Who knows if there are other multis in the game? But he said, I started multiing because other people were multiing and I wanted to fight back and still play at this buy-in level. Mm-hmm. And he is the personified version of the imaginary phantom online accounts that we don't know.
Correct.
Because we don't know who else was or wasn't multiing.
Yeah.
But Ali has now said that he personally did these things.
Yeah. And the way I see it is like I don't hate Doug's response either. I think both him and Phil are correct for what it's worth. So it's like they're on two totally opposite ends, and I don't even necessarily think that the answer lies in the middle. I actually think both are just very right. Yeah. Right? Like and I think we're seeing it play out that way. Phil's more representative of how will this be policed socially, and Doug's much more representative of how will this be policed legally or within the realm of the operators, right? And I think both have a lot of weight. The fact that they're at odds with each other is just kind of a bit of personal issues and seeing the world very differently.
Kind of missing the point.
Well, they each just see the world through two totally different lenses.
Doug is saying crime, punishment. Phil is saying let's understand why this is what it is.
Yeah, because if you go eye for eye, then there is no nuance any longer, and now the punishments don't necessarily fit the crime.
Say that again, Landon. What did you just say?
Fuck, I don't remember.
What I was going to say is it sounds like Ali's getting... Why aren't we showing the same amount of kindness, if you will, towards Ali?
Wait.
Like, when it comes to everything that he's done.
I mean, in the sense of like actions, crime, punishment, right? It's like saying, okay, somebody steals 7 figures from a community, and then they say, oh, I'm sorry. Do you give them the same treatment as someone that said, oh yeah, like I multied this like these 215s one time?
See,
or whatever.
If you're asking me, I do kind of feel that way. I feel like if you cheated, you cheated. And if I had to pick sides here, I think I'm more on Doug's side.
They can both be true.
In Phil's tweet, there's a part where he talks about Justin maybe not being aware of this being egregious or this being cheating. I disagree.
You gotta remember, this kid was 17.
I think Justin, no, I get it. I get it that he was 17. I feel like he definitely knew what he was doing was wrong. And then as far as him being in like poker purgatory, we're talking about somebody who knows how to multi-account. We're talking about somebody who knows how to play 5, 6, 7 accounts. Like, are we really sure that he just said, okay, like I got caught, I'm just not going to play on these sites anymore? I'm not totally convinced that that's what happened.
I'm going to push back because the reason why Justin got caught is because he's told on himself. He wrote it in a blog saying that he was multi-accounting, and that's the reason why he was outed for it.
I will say that I think Guapo makes a lot of very valid points there that are important to flesh out. So I think that you correctly identify the weakest points of Phil's argument. And, if we were to take Phil's post and trim it down by 66%, I would assume that part just wouldn't make it. Because the real thing here is we're talking about something that happened 18 years ago. And somebody who has a near flawless track record since, right? And sure, he was afforded the opportunity to have that nearly flawless track record because live poker existed. And when he was ostracized from online, he was able to shift. But he also did his time, right? So we can't just like step away and forget about the fact that he actually was punished. Ali's still in the midst of the punishment.
According to him, he thinks
what was
he's
his
done.
punishment? Because I want to know what this was.
He was banned from Party Stars or just Party and Stars, I believe.
Okay, and are you okay with my argument that it's possible that he just
found
played
a
anyway?
workaround? Yeah, I do think that's very, very valid.
It's not that hard to like have someone else have an account and you just play.
Absolutely.
I couldn't imagine him not having a workaround.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, he didn't really need a workaround because there were dozens upon dozens of other sites back then.
He also said, even when he knew it was wrong, that he did it again.
No, you guys are talking about two different people.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Bonomo stuff?
He's talking about Bonomo. You're talking about Ali.
Yes.
Okay, well, that needs to be made clear.
I thought we passed on the Bonomo stuff now.
No,
I was asking how Justin
about
was punished. And I'm asking,
He's saying
was
Justin
he actually
was
punished?
Yeah. He's saying Justin got banned, but he
Right, like,
probably
was he
still be
not
able to
just-
play.
We don't know, right?
We don't know.
We don't know, but what I'm saying is now 18 years after the fact, it doesn't matter any longer, right? Because even if he wasn't justly punished back then, he has shown pure redemption and has become an upstanding member of the community and is a staple of the high stakes community and, leads with ethics and morals. And there's plenty of his political beliefs that we all disagree with, or some of us disagree with, some of us align with. It doesn't really matter. None of that speaks to the character of Justin Bonomo as an upstanding member of this community, right?
So we should extend this olive branch to Ali as well in time.
Maybe.
Okay, why is that a maybe? I don't understand.
Because of the scale of what happened. You're talking about the difference between getting into a fist fight versus murdering somebody.
We're talking about two different landscapes. Like the poker landscape was way different back then than it is today. Like,
Right.
That feels like a cop out, dude. Like
I know, but it's the equivalent of the analogy that I made. It's a lot easier to have a path to redemption for someone who steals a candy bar than someone who steals billions of dollars from people, right?
Right.
Like, so it's
the magnitude is so
way different,
so much
right.
greater here.
Yeah.
And it's also like your point of Justin probably knew he was doing something wrong is valid. And I think that you're right. He also knew he was doing something wrong as a 17-year-old playing online poker, right? Sure. So like clearly he's breaking terms of service at that point. But the scale of how bad that is was very, very, very low back then, right? What Ali is doing though is garnering an unfair edge that he knows is worth 7 figures. The scale of that, the magnitude of that is, again, we're talking about like the difference between, getting into a standoff in the wild, wild west of the 1800s versus murdering someone in cold blood in 2023.
Right. And what Berkey said, what Berkey said was, I don't know if there's a path to redemption. That doesn't mean there isn't a path to redemption.
Right.
Right. So,
or who's to say that we have that answer?
Right.
On top
Maybe
of
there
that,
is a path, and time will tell. But like at the moment, we don't know.
On top of that, we know that Ali had a stable, which might have, like, if there was
scaled it further.
Exactly. So if there was something going on, it might have been scaled further. We don't know, but like, it seems like there's a lot more here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's way too soon for him to even seek a path of redemption.
Right.
And
well, that's where we're having the discussion, right? Because he literally said, "I got my money confiscated, and I've been gone for 3 years, so now I want back in."
And it hasn't been 3 years, and the amount of money confiscated is
Not
so
enough.
small
in comparison to what
small compared to what we assume he wants.
was taken in EV, even if he wanted or not.
Right.
And if he tries to say otherwise, he's just lying.
Right. It's like, if we are able to even tally the total buy-ins and winnings of just his account, I'm sure that that's a fraction of his profits, right? And then he admits to multing. So it's like, okay, well, show us the stats then for these other accounts. How many were there? 3, 4, 6, 12?
He also has an issue, which I can like understand, with that other people, he said like he's not naming names or whatever, like have been caught for doing some things or maybe haven't been publicly caught for doing others. And it just seems like at that point, if you're going to take that stance, there should be some, if you have proof of it, right? Why would you not say, okay, like look at what's happened here. These people are also indicted. Why? Like he doesn't have to be this martyr of the cause. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Like he's saying, oh, other people did these things and they're free, but I'm open about it and I'm not free.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, if he wants to be helpful and he truly does have information, then he should just go public. There's literally no reason for him to imply that he knows that cheating is taking place and like be covert about it or be like some sort of look, I know that this is happening and you guys should really look into it, but I'm not gonna be the rat.
Well, how do you know what to look into without having things? Just in this case, same thing as speculation. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, look, there's a lot of details we're not talking about with regard to Ali, his stable, the guy that we know was managing the stable. There are a lot of names that we could throw out there. There's a lot of details that have been floating around for 2 years that we don't talk about because it's impossible to corroborate because no one who worked for him will come forward, right? And the actual details are all second or third handed.
Right.
And it's just irresponsible to be the person with a platform, with a microphone, to just come straight out and say, well, I heard...
Yeah, I agree. You can't hearsay people like that.
This guy was taking over at this stage of the tournament, and this guy was taking over at final tables, and that they had this machine. You know what I mean? So you wait for people who are close enough to it where they have firsthand accounts.
Yeah.
And you wait for them to come forward. If Ali doesn't have any firsthand accounts, then what he said is nothing more than distraction tactics, right? If he's just assuming that there are other people in the industry as cold-blooded and careless as he was, then it doesn't mean anything.
It's a lot of hearsay.
Yeah, and it's like, sure, maybe that is true. I'm sure that there's other people like Ali in this community that are willing to, do whatever it takes to make the most amount of money as possible, the smash and grab, right? We saw Lynn tweeting about it a year and a half ago where it was kind of just this apathetic approach of, well, I totally understand.
I remember that. Oh, I remember this.
It's like, I don't fault anybody who wants to come into an industry, has no plans in staying, and just doing 100% of whatever it takes to get all of the EV and then leave. And it's like we saw this with Squid. John Ruane.
John
Ruane.
Ruane.
Yeah, he was one of the most egregious cheaters online that we've seen in the better part of a decade, right?
Yeah.
Came in, got all of his money, and got out. And it's like, we can scrutinize and criticize this guy all we want, but he's never fucking coming back.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
And there's no real, call it, time and justice system for it.
There's no justice system because they were able to get the money out. This is what people don't understand about the inner workings of GG, specifically back then, more so than maybe now. But like when those major 25s were running off all the time, and they went from, you know, being a site that offered some high stakes to being the global leader in online high stakes. For that time frame, when that was going on, you have to understand that everybody was operating through crypto. Everybody was operating through a bunch of different agents.
Yeah, it's kind of like dark web type stuff.
Yeah, so the availability to get a bunch of accounts, get them loaded, get the money off, and be gone.
And the money just disappears
It's
into
just
the ether.
it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just gone. There's no
Right.
recourse for the actual site to make it right.
I want to read this. It's a comment on the Galfond. Shut the hell up. On the Galfond thread.
Yep.
Brokus says, well, it's a long back and forth, but then Brokus says, as for amends, I was among the many Justin cheated, and I've never seen a penny. I'm still not putting him in the same category as the other folks. He has redeemed himself about as well as can be expected, but I don't think it's quite accurate to say he's made amends. Justin responds, very different circumstances. I lost money doing it outright because it was a small sample size. All the money was taken out of my party poker accounts, despite it legitimately won in SNGs, 6 figures. The amount taken was far greater than even the total of my gross casses multi-accounting. He says PokerStars handle it differently than Party. PokerStars seized the sum total of my gross casses, which was 5K. They returned it to the players in the MTTs I cast in, who finished behind me, moving them all up one spot.
Man, this is so... It kind of is fucked up, though, when it comes to the way that recompense happens to those that get caught cheating.
What was that word?
What?
Recompense?
Yeah, like what happens to you after. Yeah, it's like the consequence.
Okay.
Because if somebody cheats and the site catches them, the site takes the money, you know? And how do you accurately give that money back to the people cheated?
Well, like what Stars did is the most accurate way, and that's been commonplace for PokerStars for as long as I can remember.
Right, but it isn't
even when they took Jake's money for...
It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect.
Well,
of course, it's like he cheats somebody out of somebody who didn't cash, right?
Well, it's
and
far
then-
from... Landon's point is it's far from perfect because just moving everybody up a spot isn't necessarily reflective of where they would have finished had Justin not been there.
No, exactly.
It
But it's
fucks up a lot because you're playing with ISM and
Yeah.
variance, you know?
Mhm.
Sure.
You don't
But
get
what
cheated.
can they do?
I don't have these answers, but it seems
Probably
like
at the time, it's the best they could do.
Yeah.
Is it, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
Yeah.
is it,
Yeah.
though? You
Like,
think
what do
they
you
had,
mean?
you think they had a better model in 2006?
No, it's
Right.
not a better model, but just like it seems like a very quick thing to think is the answer when there could more thought could be put into it. Saying, oh, like let's just move everybody up one seems like there's not a lot of thought going into
So
it.
what would you like? What would
I don't
your-
know.
your
I haven't
quick-
thought about it. I wouldn't say something that I don't have the answer to.
And this is much ado about nothing. Like this is a debate that really has no weight. Somebody cheated and the site made it better. Like they gave some sort of retributions
They
to those
found
who
a
were cheated.
recourse.
Yeah, like that doesn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
Somebody steals $10,000 from you, you don't get it fucking back.
Like you're just happy that they found a recourse.
They
Honestly,
just owe you for life and never fucking pay.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's
like,
no perfect system.
no,
And
it's
kinda like
it's
best
far
you can
from
do.
that. And the fact that it sounds like, you know, Party seized all of his money in spite of it, some of it being won legitimately. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Like whatever, man. Like, you know, you get caught cheating.
You get caught cheating, you lose your money, and it goes to people that didn't get cheated.
Yeah,
Seems good.
Yeah, like
Seems like the very like step A, step B.
right, like somebody gets jailed for tax evasion or for like some major corporate crime or whatever. It's all their assets get seized, not just what they stole. You know, that's why people fucking bury money in their backyard and stuff like that. It's like you don't have a right to what you earned ethically when you break ethics.
It's funny because you say that in the sense of burying in the backyard, but that's kind of how crypto works with the money and being stolen from cheating.
That's the biggest issue with this is that there was no path to redemption for those who were cheated, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or sorry, there's no path to redemption for the cheaters because the sites can't make it
millions
right.
in dollars, and that's never going to be given back to the players that were cheated.
No, it's like I don't know. I mean, we don't know a lot about what happened, but when GG banned those 40 names initially, and I think it ended up being like 82 total when it was all said and
Oh,
done.
Ali said, yeah.
I don't know that there were a lot of refunds that were issued during that time, right?
Yeah.
And it's like nobody's holding any sites to this sort of standard.
Yeah.
You know, we see this happen all the time, I'm sure, where players are banned from WSOP.com. We never hear about it because they don't go public with it, and nobody ever gets any money added to their account.
I now understand why people have issues with online poker.
Yeah. It's,
And like hard to regulate and hard.
Right.
These are all good points. I see them. I see you guys out there.
I mean, since the internet has been popularized in Brian and I's lifetime, mid 90s until now, there's always been a small collective of people who are trying to exploit the power of information transfer at a rapid rate.
And they always will.
Right.
There always
And
will be.
They always will.
The
So
bad
it's just
actors.
the amount of scale that you can achieve through online tech as opposed to offline, in-person type of scams. It's just night and day. You know, like you're not going to see people going door to door trying to scam you very often any longer. It's low brow. It's it's easy to see through, but like B, you just don't really acquire much that way.
I don't know what you're talking about. Some guy came to our door like 6 months ago talking about, I can watch this, and you gave him $100 for a bottle. He scammed you.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
we will have a story tomorrow about someone who took about $1 million from a casino.
Oh my God, I can't believe that shit.
that is true. We will.
That's going to be the best story we've ever told.
But yeah, I mean, I think Brocus's take there is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think, like, generally speaking, like, it's fine to have Doug's take. I think that it's fine to see the world through black and white. I know that some people just like operate that way. I just think that you kind of gloss over a bit of nuance, and the issue then becomes that either you will over punish people that are less deserving of such harshness, or you'll start making too many exceptions to the rules or to the punishments, whatever, as like more cases come forward, right?
Yeah, well, the issue is we don't really have like that justice system. The community is the justice system.
Well, that's kind of that's like what I was speaking to, where it's like, okay, Doug is kind of coming from a framework of these things are bad and should be punished accordingly, and Phil is kind of coming from the framework of these things are bad and should be punished accordingly, like in a public setting of the community's sake, right?
Right.
So it's like Phil's kind of coming from the vantage point of like, yes, these things are bad, and yes, we should scrutinize them, but we should add nuance and thought to each and every individual case and treat them on a case-by-case basis. Where Doug is kind of coming from the framework of like, cheating is bad, period. It's an absolute toxic, destructive thing that happens in our game, and we should police it all.
Yeah.
Hard.
I mean,
and they're both right in my opinion.
Ali isn't banned from WSOP as far as we know. Like if he wanted to show up and play the 5K today, he could do that. You know, is he going to have to deal with some societal pressure that comes from being ostracized from the community? Yeah, of course. These are things that like actions that fit the consequence.
Right.
Right. There's no, it's like he's not going to jail. No one's like getting money from him in some regards. You know, like these are just the actions, the consequence that you had, and then that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just community. It's a community kind of being the neighborhood watch.
Yeah. It then becomes much more of honestly, like Doug and Phil's takes are much more aligned than I think either of them really understand, because then it becomes much more of Phil is basically saying, don't let him off the hook. Like, don't forget when he shows up at your table 2 years from now, don't forget what he's done to this community kind of thing. But with Justin, you know, look at his entire track record and it's okay to kind of let this pass. Where for Doug, he's basically saying, don't forget. But he's saying it to everyone.
Sure. Or if like somebody even like talked to Justin and wanted to ask him about it or whatever, like you're allowed to talk about things people did in the past.
Sure.
You know, it's not about giving a pass, this, that, whatever. But when it comes to the things that do happen, like people are going to do whatever they want in some regards. And the overarching like justice system is what controls everything else. Right.
Well, we just lack that in this community.
Exactly.
No one's breaking any laws, or if they are, they're not being punished.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's kind of the difficulty. But yeah, I expect this story will continue to unravel. We're going to get a lot more details as more and more information comes out. I'm sure somebody on the internet, which is still undefeated, is doing the research on that list of names. So hopefully at some point we'll get some sort of idea how many of those aliases are potentially Ali's, and we're able to kind of look at some P&Ls and see, just how profitable this multi-accounting system was. I'm gonna go play the 5K.
Same.
I'm gonna go play the 600.
I was planning on max late regging it, but I don't have a cash game seat today, so we're gonna get in the mix.
Let's do it.
Hello. What do we got? Hello.
A phone call.
What is this? 1999?
We have a call-in.
Why the fuck do you have your ringer on?
I don't.
What is this? An emergency broadcast?
It's coming through Telegram.
Why do you have your ringer on that?
Because nobody's ever fucking called me on Telegram that I had to turn it off, all right?
Scam?
Scam.
For sure, scam.
Scam.
Crypto scam.
Scam FC.
Telegram FC.
Yeah.
Conrad's in the NFT streets.
No, I left that life.
Ringtone FC.
I mean, it's kind of crazy,
Ringtone
right? Because
FC.
like in the NFT scene, there's just like anonymous people that have stolen and rugged millions.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, what can you do? Well, nothing. They buried in their backyard.
Yeah, that's it. We all move on. All right, that's going to do it for us today, guys. We will be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. most likely.
I'll be in day 2.
It depends if the restart for this. I don't. It's just going to depend on this 5K restart, basically.
We'll all be in day 2.
Where's our music?
Hopefully, we are all in day 2.
Where is our music?
Music is already on.
I don't hear it.
We don't hear it.
Okay, maybe it's not
Pew,
loud
pew,
enough.
pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you don't mind, smash that subscribe button. Hit a like on your way out. Click the bell. You know how it goes.
Do what you
We
do.
appreciate you guys so much for the support. We'll be back tomorrow at 10:30 a.m.
With Dumb and Dumber.
Pew, 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 pew.